Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's story is one that will grip your heart from the very first moment because it begins with a frightened little girl running down a dusty roadside, her small feet stumbling, her breath shaking and her eyes red with tears. She had no idea where she was going, she had no plan. She only knew one thing, she needed help and she needed it fast. As she clutched her little backpack to her chest, she kept whispering the same words over and over again. Like a prayer, "They're beating my mama, someone please help my mama." The sun was beginning to set, turning the sky a deep shade of orange. The road was mostly empty except for the distant rumble of engines, motorcycles, loud, powerful and fast. At first, the little girl froze, scared by the sound, but then something inside her pushed her forward. She stumbled toward the approaching bikes, waving her arms, crying out, "Please, please stop there, hurting my mama." The bikers rolled to a sudden halt, dust kicking up around them, leather jackets, metal patches, heavy boots, long beards, tattoos. They looked intimidating to anyone, especially a child, but one biker, the biggest of them all, stepped off his bike and knelt in front of her, his voice surprisingly gentle. "Hey kid, what's wrong? Tell me what happened." She could barely speak between sobs, but she lifted a trembling hand, pointing down the road toward a small cluster of trees. "They're beating my mama. Two men. Mama tried to protect me, and they started hitting her. Please help." The biker exchanged a quick look with his crew. That look was all it took because bikers, especially this group, believed in one thing, above all, never harm the innocent. Family was everything, and kids were untouchable. The leader stood, grabbed his helmet, and said, "Show us where they are, kid." Without hesitation, she took his hand and led them toward the trees. With every step, her small legs shaking, the bikers followed behind, engines roaring again, but this time slowly, deliberately, like a storm, preparing to strike. As they got closer, they heard it, a woman's scream. Sharp, desperate, heartbreaking, and then a man's voice, shouting, "Shut up, stay down." The little girl whimpered, "That's mama. Hurry." The bikers moved faster now, breaking into a run. The leader motioned for two of his guys to flank around the trees while the others came straight from the front. They burst through the brush, and what they saw froze them in place. A woman on the ground, bruised and bleeding, one man gripping her arm, the other raising his fist about to strike again. The bikers didn't speak, didn't hesitate, didn't wait for explanations. They moved like lightning, grabbing the attackers, yanking them off the woman, throwing them to the ground. One of the men shouted, "What the hell? Who are you?" But his voice turned into a scream as he was pinned face down by a biker twice his size. The other tried to run but got caught immediately, lifted off his feet like a rag doll. Before being slammed to the dirt, the little girl ran to her mother, collapsing into her arms, sobbing, "Mama, mama, I brought help." The mother, although weak, wrapped her arms around her daughter, whispering, "Thank you, baby, thank you." The bikers checked her condition carefully. One called for an ambulance. Another pulled out water. Another gave the little girl his own leather jacket, because she was shivering from fear and cold. But the biker leader, the big man with the gentle eyes, knelt beside the two attackers who were now trembling themselves. He leaned close and said, "You hurt a woman in front of a child, you think? You're tough men, like you don't get to walk away from this." But before anything else could happen, sirens sounded in the distance. The biker leader stood back, gave the police a full account, and didn't hide a thing. He explained exactly what happened, exactly what they heard, and exactly what they saw. The officers examined the scene, the bruises, the blood, the terrified child, and without hesitation, they handcuffed the two men. One officer nodded respectfully to the bikers, saying, "Thanks for stepping in." Most people would have ignored it. The bikers didn't say anything. They didn't need praise, they just needed to know the woman and her daughter were safe. Once the ambulance arrived, the mother was placed on a stretcher. The little girl refused to leave her side, holding her mother's hand tightly. But before they were taken away, she looked at the biker leader with wide, tear-filled eyes and whispered, "Thank you, you saved my mama." The biker cleared his throat, looked away and said, "You were the brave one, kid. You came to find us." The little girl reached up and hugged him around the neck for a moment. He didn't move, unsure how to react, but finally he wrapped his arms around her gently and said, "Anytime, sweetheart, anytime." Later at the hospital, after the mother was treated and stabilized, the truth finally came out. The two attackers were not strangers, they were men. The mother once trusted her ex and his friend, who had been showing up demanding money, threatening her. And that day, when she refused, they turned violent. The little girl, seeing her mother in danger, had run for help in pure desperation, and by chance, or maybe fate, she found exactly the right people. The bikers came to visit the next day, even bringing toys, snacks, and a helmet small enough for the girl. The biker leader told her, "This one's so next time you're not running scared, you're riding with friends." She giggled for the first time in days, and the mother smiled weakly, whispering thank you to him. He shook his head. "Don't thank me, we protect our own, and you two are family now." The biker club even organized a fundraiser for the mother, helping her move into a safer home, making sure she never had to face fear alone again. As for the two attackers, well, they faced charges for assault, child endangerment, and trespassing, and because of the bikers' testimony and the evidence, the court didn't go easy on them. Months later, when everything had calmed down, the little girl visited the biker clubhouse walking in shyly, holding a drawing she had made. It showed her mother smiling, her holding her hand, and a group of bikers standing behind them like guardians. She handed it to the leader and said, "This is my family now, right?" He looked at the picture, looked at her, and smiled the kind of smile only a man with a soft heart hidden behind a tough exterior could make. "Yeah, kid," he said, "you got that right." From that day on, she had a whole crew of uncles watching over her, a family wearing leather jackets, riding loud bikes, but with hearts bigger than engines and a loyalty stronger than steel. The story spread around town quickly. Some people were shocked, others impressed, but everyone agreed on one thing: the bikers didn't just save a woman that night, they saved a child's world. They reminded everyone that heroes don't always wear capes. Sometimes they wear helmets, boots, patches, and ride roaring machines into the sunset. And sometimes the bravest hero of all is a little girl who refused to give up on saving her mom. Even when she was terrified, even when she didn't know where to go, she ran anyway. She believed someone would help, and she was right. This world still has good people, powerful people, kind people, and sometimes they arrive with the rumble of a motorcycle engine. Thanks for listening to this emotional story. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful, real-life stories that touch the heart and remind us that courage comes in many forms. See you in the next one.